Right, full disclaimer, when I was writing the script, my brain wasn't really functioning well. So this video may or may not make any sense. Crossing my fingers that it all comes together in the end. Hello my dudes and welcome to The Buzz Show. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope everybody's having a good day, and if you're not, I hope it gets better. So I have gotten some feedback from some friends about my videos. Thank you so much to everybody that's shown me love. It means a great deal to me. People are so nice, and I've decided that I'll be changing how I do my videos. So from this point on, my reviews will have spoilers in them. Just a disclaimer. I think this will make our engagement a whole lot better because I think I'll be able to talk more openly and not feel the need to hold anything back. I feel like this is good for us. So without further ado, let's make it do what it do. Oh! Today's video is on the Netflix series Savage Beauty. I don't know why I want to say that in a posh accent, like Lady Whistledown in Bridgerton. Dearest reader, seeking revenge for her tragic past, a mysterious woman embeds herself in a powerful family who possesses a global beauty empire and dark secrets. The story follows a woman named Zinhle Manzini who, after her painful childhood, sets out on a journey to find and exact revenge on the wealthy and powerful family who caused her harm. But while in the process of getting revenge, innocent people are harmed, making Zinhle's mission for revenge tricky and complicated. The show has 6 episodes and is just about as dramatic as it sounds. Let's talk about it. Starting off with the story, the show's opening scene shows us what to expect at the end of the season. The scene starts off with Zinhle covered in blood and she's going up to her place to wash it off and change her clothes. It's one of those, this is the end? But how did we get here? From there, we go back to the beginning, which is the Mahlangu Beauty fashion show, and they're about to reveal the new face of their beauty campaign. Zinhle is revealed to be the winner, and this marks the beginning of Zinhle's revenge plan, where she does something to sabotage the event without drawing attention to herself. I like the setup of the show. Sure, it's a story that we've seen a number of times before, but I think that's because it's something that works. It also has a lot of soap opera elements, which some people might find predictable. For instance, the main antagonist, Don, is in the process of choosing a successor for his business between his 2 kids. So this is basically like Empire, but with less cancer and more heart attacks. As time goes on, Zinhle goes deeper into the family dynamics and slowly destroys their reputation. And she's still able to do this and stay under the radar. I felt that the dialogue was awkward at times because I feel like people don't usually speak this way in real life, but I don't think it's anything hectic. Speaking of dialogue, I am so happy that these people decided to stick with Vernac. In my opinion, they could have gone a whole lot further, but I'm happy with what they did because historically with Netflix, something I really enjoy about the story is the way they address colorism, because honestly, I think it has a chokehold on our people. Dawn and Grace take advantage of the spies, right? And basically go into the black market and sell bleaching products, and that's where a major part of the income comes from. And I'm pretty sure skin bleaching products are illegal in SA. Now, as much as I really want to sing the show's praises, it has little things that really irk me. They did the similar thing with House of Zwide, where the show is supposed to be about fashion, but you rarely see the fashion. So is it fashion? No, but is it fashion? Anytime the actors were in water, it just looked so awkward. Like, I think it was a nice idea on paper, but I don't know why they kept the scenes in there. The next thing is just a me thing, but I found the sex scenes so shocking. I don't even know why they were so jarring to me. I'm not even conservative, so I don't know why they were so jarring. It's probably because of all the bums. I'm just really bold and they're beautiful. You know what I hate in a show? And sadly, I've seen this play out on local TV more specifically, is how they cover the news or CCTV footage in these shows. And I'll do my best to try and explain this. In one scene, the reporter and the cameraman come in to cover the warehouse fire and the illegal skin bleaching products. But when it plays out in the news, We're seeing the angles from the previous scene instead of the perspective of what the cameraman was shooting. So the camera in this thing is just a prop. And again, this is not the first time I've seen this. It always just feels so messy and it always takes me out of the world, you know? Otherwise, I'm into this whole story. What I have to say is that the final episode is just riddled with so many problems for me that the show became disappointing. There were too many problems at the end across the board. And I think I'll explain some of these when I'm breaking it down each character. So now let's move on to the characters. Let's start off with Zinhle, who's the main protagonist of the show. When the show starts, Zinhle is named the new face of Binge Beauty. From the first episode, we can tell that Zinhle has a hidden agenda with the Binge family, specifically with Don and Grace. We're just not completely sure what it is. Part of her being crowned the winner of the campaign is she has to move in with the Binge family, which puts her in the perfect position to exact her revenge. I like this girl, and let me tell you why. She has a clear motive of what she wants when she's going into this world, and she understands the sacrifice. Like I said before, she's slowly tearing the family apart, but is able to stay under the radar, so nobody actually suspects her. Even when she starts falling in love with one of the sons, she remembers what she came here for, and she just ends it. But even the way that whole relationship ended was unnecessarily dramatic. But then again, this is like a soapy. I was on board with everything until the final episodes when she started being irrational. Whenever her plans start going sideways, she starts becoming stupid, which threw me off because she was so level-headed throughout the show. Like lying to your ancestors just so that you can get evidence against Don seems like a crazy thing to me, right? Or like ndim orong or ekrumun. At this point, it started to feel like she didn't know what the end game to her plan was. Like she wanted them to suffer and she knew this, but she didn't actually know how. Next is Don, who's the CEO of Binge Beauty and all-round disgusting human. He's been running Binge Beauty for about 15 years and he's super obsessed with his image and legacy. He's also trying to decide between his kids who will take over the family business, which I don't even think is anytime soon. He's also cheating on his wives and for whatever reason wants more kids, because having 2 wives and 3 kids is not enough for him. Grace is Don's first wife and the mother of all that is evil on this planet. She started Binge Beauty with Don but gets none of the credit, including from Don himself, which obviously affects her. She's absolutely obsessed with preserving the family's image in the public eye and will basically do anything to manage anyone who gets in her way. I think she even came up with the idea of using orphans to test out the bleaching product. So she's evil. Ntati Moshesh is simply a master at acting. Truly. Because I think she was really good in this. Tando is Don's second wife and absolutely hates both Don and Grace, which makes you wonder, then babes, why did you marry into this family? So initially she was having an affair with Don, but when Grace found out, Grace decided, yo, you two should get married so that you can become Don's entertainment and he'll stop sleeping around. But when she couldn't have a baby, Don got bored and lost interest, and she was basically trapped in this marriage because apparently Don doesn't get a divorce. Angela Sithole gave my favorite performance in this whole show. I thought she was really great in this. Fila is Don and Grace's oldest son and a charmer boy. He's in the running to take over the family business. He's also the traditional rich boy who likes to party, have sex, and do drugs. But he's not traditional in every sense because he's actually really smart and is able to separate the two worlds. So his lifestyle isn't affecting any of his work. Also, he seems like a nice guy. Du is Don and Grace's youngest son and is just naive to how his world works. He's a photographer or an artist and I think he's trying to form his own identity outside of his family. He also falls in love with Zinhle and he's just in the way. Like, my dude, we are busy plotting a revenge over here, okay? Love will come later. Linda is Don's first child from a previous relationship. When she was 18, her mother died, I think, and she basically found out that Don was her father. So when she found him, she ended up working at Binge Beauty and is basically now also in the running to take over the family company. All of this made her extremely obsessed with making her dad happy and seeking his approval. Also, like, sis, this man is not the hill you should die on. Like, this man is terrible. The last person I'll mention is Bonga, who is Zintle's younger brother. As much as he's trying to help his sister get revenge on the Binge family, he's also her voice of reason and tries to keep her on the right path. More than anything, I think he just wants to move on with his life. He's also too trusting. Like, that detective he was speaking to definitely looked corrupt. I wouldn't trust him with my life. Speaking of Bonga, I just remembered a moment where Zintle was being stupid and not making sense. So, when Bonga got shot and Zintle was driving him to the hospital, why did she stop at the side of the road to check on him? Like, you going to the hospital meant he had a chance, but you stopping to check on him meant like he's definitely gonna die now. That makes no sense. Why would she stop? Also, like, why is he dead? Terry Petto did an amazing job casting the show. I didn't even know she was a casting agent. Hey, but also the way this industry is set up, like, you have to do like a million things just to be able to survive. So, like, honestly, work. Now let's move on to everything technical. Let's start off with the visuals. Honestly, I think this show was shot like any show that plays on TV. Maybe this was because the show didn't need a lot because of how the story is, or maybe they just didn't have a big enough budget to like shoot mind-blowing visuals. So to me, it was just good. And honestly, I think the same thing about the grade. I think they just stuck to one look and just went with it. Or maybe my memory is failing me. Maybe don't listen to me. The editing was also pretty average for me. But again, this might be because of how the story is. But I have to point out that there were a lot of continuity errors riddled with throughout the show. And I don't think this is just on editing. Like, for instance, when Grace, Zintle, and Ndu left the office together, but arrived at the house separately. Like, Grace was sitting down drinking tea when the two of them arrived. The makeup and costumes were good, although sometimes I felt that they were over the top. Like when Zintle went to the hospital to check on Don and was wearing that like black hoodie cape thing with a picnic basket. I was like, what in the Little Red Riding Hood is going on here? It looked cool though. I think I want one for myself. Production design was really good. That runway, the red carpet, it was giving. Sound design was good. I didn't write anything, so it must have been good. The music was a hit and a miss for me. Like, sometimes they were on it, and then the rest of the times they just weren't. But I have to give a shout out to whoever decided to get Zoe Mudikha to perform on that runway. That made my heart happy. Overall, I know that I was venting and listed a lot of problems with the story, but I do actually think that this was a good show. It's definitely a story you've seen before. It's just that this time it's in the world of beauty. But if I'm being frank with you, I didn't like how the finale ended because, and one of my friends phrased this so brilliantly, it felt like they were fishing for a second season. I think that if they wrote this as a limited series and they completed the storyline, it could have been so amazing. It could have been so amazing. The show was released on the 12th of May of this year, and the reception of the show seems pretty decent. Even though critics seem to either think it was average or absolutely terrible, the general audience seems to really love it, and that's what matters. And I get it because it's a formula that definitely works in South Africa. You know, ever since I started doing these videos, I love reading the reviews online because it's almost always two responses. Either they absolutely love the show or they trash the shows with so much brutal force that I have to clutch my pearls. The show was on Netflix's top 10 watch list for well over a month, and I'm pretty sure it might have been at number 1 at some point, but don't take my word for it because I'm not completely sure. Some of the actors got praise for their work from both critics and fans. I have no idea whether the show will get any nominations for the SAFTAs, but if I were to make a prediction, it would probably be in the acting categories and production design. Also, don't take my word for it. I'm literally just a viewer. I also do hope that they get a second season purely because I'm interested in how they'll continue from that cliffhanger. And that's all I have to say about Savage Beauty. I am so tired. I'm so tired. Like I said in the beginning of the video, this was not the best script that I've written. So I'm just hoping that this video makes sense and you were able to follow me. If you did like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Leave a comment below and tell me what you thought either of this video or of the show if you've watched it. Also, remember, you don't have to agree with everything that I have said. This is just one person's opinion. Please consider subscribing to my channel. A new video will be up whenever it's up. And until next time, from me Buzz, it's goodbye. And nisalega tebanga nemakaya.